So the response from everyone in the theater was really incredible. It felt like everyone was engaged and asked very specific questions around themes, shared their own personal experiences and their connection to the music and the performances. So it felt really special, and it was really nice to meet some of the audience members afterwards as well. The atmosphere of Giffoni feels pretty magical. I always love working with kids in my films. I've always worked with 7-year-olds, 8-year-olds, and now this feature film Boca Chica stars a 12-year-old girl. So being around the youth has been really inspiring. I think that's a large reason why I write coming-of-age films, is to be inspired and to learn from the youth and to stay young. So I've been able to go to like another screening as well and listen to the questions from the 16+ group and just watch the students, you know, find themselves empowered by the work. So it was nice as a fairly young filmmaker and a female filmmaker to be in this space. And Giffoni, obviously the environment and everything is just so beautiful. Yes, so for the film, this was my first time I was directing and wasn't the writer of the film. So I worked with Mariana Rodon and Marite Ugas. It was an idea that our producer Sterling Ramirez had and had brought to them, and she kind of built this team of women. And something that was really beautiful is that they all understood that I was a storyteller and a writer kind of first and foremost, and they allowed me to color between the lines. So I actually injected a lot of these quieter moments and scenes, added the headphones and these elements like when we were in Boca Chica that kind of illuminated things and could find moments for Desi to be herself, because she is quite the observer of the world around her. So like the field with the goats was something that we had found, and then of course the day we shot there were no goats and we had to wrangle them and find them. But there were these spaces in between, like, you know, where she was with her classmates in the chorus or where she was with her family at home or in the restaurant, that like she could be herself and kind of be preparing, whether it was like the roof with Raul. So much of that was just inspired by location and space, and that was really important to me. And then writing that into the script, into this beautiful framework and foundation we had by Mariana and Marite. So yeah. One of my favorite scenes is the family scene, I think, because it was like a challenge and it overcame, and it brings out so many of the different personalities and dynamics around the wedding. I love that scene because it always makes me laugh, kind of this moment of like cross-cultural dialogue too, with Annie, the novia, who's like, is there raisins in this? And she doesn't eat that, and they're all translating for each other and lying a bit and keeping their secrets. But beyond that, scenes that like kind of really spoke to the themes that I really loved was like the scene where at the party with the girls, and kind of this dynamic from her entering onwards and seeing like how she feels like an outsider. All of those outsider scenes where she's vulnerable when she goes to the hotel. I added in the synesthesia element to the script, and so when she goes into the pool and escapes, I mean I personally was able to really like explore the visual style and language of the film through these moments in the field and in the pool. So those are some of my favorite scenes. I hadn't thought about that, but it's actually, my film has a lot of connection to this idea of the illusione de distancia. It has to do with like being, I said, like Desi, our protagonist, is an observer of the world around her. And there's also this relationship she has with the dream of the American dream, because her brother and her cousin are reaching success in the United States, or so it seems. But the cousin is doing something that is very seedy and not moral, and then the brother is living his own lie as well and not embracing his true self. And so I think there's this illusion of the American dream, and that is like this illusion of like what immigration and all of this distance builds for a person, or what the hope is. So there's that's kind of like this, also confronting that illusion is what our film is about, because that distance is closed and they're all in the same environment for the wedding, and they have to face some hard truths in their family and try and break a cycle. So yeah, I feel like that's part of how it's connected.